Got rejected plan to cut isolation. They're sort of drip feeding us these messages as they're coming out. And this is as shocking as the other stuff. And it's really frustrating because online, at least anyway, it seems like the story has sort of moved a little bit to the woman who released the messages and betrayed, you know, it's like play the ball. Yeah. And this is the ball, and this is important because there were people there, you know, remember a couple of years ago, everyone was getting the little pings. If you'd been near anybody that had got COVID, then that's it. You were locked away for 2 weeks, right? And now they're saying that actually, and the whole time, all these people, follow the science, follow the science. Well, the science said that if you got tested at home for those 5 days and you were clear, then you were fine. You didn't have to spend the full 2 weeks. But they didn't because that's because, as he says here, that they were worried about getting it wrong or showing people that they'd got it wrong. It was political, and the more of these messages that come out and you see how they, I mean, really, they just laughed at the country. It's disgusting, and I'm sick of the background stuff. Let's focus on this stuff here to find out how we were all gamed and played.
Francis, Josh seems to be surprised that the government was incompetent and lied more to cover up its lies.
Do you know what? It's every day I think that I can't hate Matt Hancock anymore, but then it just goes down to another level. This quite simply shows the contempt, the absolute contempt the government had for the British public. And we did an interview on my show with David Davis, and he put the chances of the Tories winning at 20%, the general election. I think it's minus 20 after this. I can't imagine any person that would want to vote for the Conservatives.
People are still clinging to their narrative. People out there are still... And you're
there's still people with face masks walking around.
Totally, but I'm not talking, there are people defending this or using these tweets to go, oh, like, somehow it proves their point. Like that lockdowns were good or whatever. In fact, we're going to see a story in a bit where the Metro, out of all of the messages that have been uncovered, that they've sort of gone with this one particular angle. Before also we get to that, I just want to say that Francis stole my pen, so I'm just going to take it back because
it's a nice pen.
It's a really nice pen, and I don't. Thank you very much. I saw what you did there. Put it back on my side.
But I mean, I've got absolute contempt for the British people as well, because the lockdown rules were ridiculous and shouldn't have been followed. And I'd be surprised. Was anybody following them?
No, but here's the thing, Leo. They used Project Fear, whereby they put the absolute fear of God into people. Do you remember killing Granny? God? All of that, the nudge unit. They
manipulated. That's supposed to make us fearful. That made me want to spread COVID.
Well, that's because you're a complete sociopath, mate. But for the average person who feels... Look at Leo. He's just looking, going, yeah, I actually am, right? But for the average...
Disappointed she's still alive.
But for the average person, it was completely terrifying. And as a result, something needs to be done. With the current inquiry that they're doing, if heads don't roll for this, then, quite frankly, what's the point?
Well, it's not a good inquiry.
No, absolutely. And also next time, if the government brings out rules that are obviously ridiculous, don't follow them. Anyway, Francis, finally, what have our friends at the Daily Star got in the front?
Well, they've gone topical, mate, and they've used the big threes. Terrible pun. Even you in your heyday wouldn't have used that one, would you? But 3 snowstorms have hit this week, and apparently it's going to be minus 15 degrees centigrade, which for Scotland is a lovely summer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take my jacket off, I think. Anyway, that's it for part 1. Join us in part 2 as we discuss the Stone of Destiny,